Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new Doctor Who video where, well, we had the church on Ruby Road and of course the key mystery, there were multiple mysteries in the story, but the key mystery, the great moment at the end of the story where we see Mrs. Flood talk to camera and mention a TARDIS, is who on earth is Mrs. Flood? So yeah, she looked we kind of had an inkling, I feel like, before the episode that she could be a bit of a mysterious character, but I don't think we quite realised it to that extent until right in that very, very last scene. And so, of course, since then we've had it, is it the Rony? Is it the Master? Is it Susan? Is it old Ruby? Is it whoever? So let's go through a few of those theories and see, what's most likely. So the first is the obvious, the classic one, that it's the Master, another female version of the Master. We saw somebody pick up the ring of the Master from the end of the Giggle, so naturally you could go, well, look, the next episode there's a mysterious character, obviously it's going to be the Master. I don't think it is. I feel like, especially Russell kind of was, said, like, I put that scene in, but I haven't figured out what I'm doing with the Master yet, and he's like 2 seasons down the line from where we are right now. So obviously he could be lying. Of course Russell often lies about things because it's better for the show, but I do feel like, given we've had so much of the Master in recent years with Missy throughout the whole of Capaldi's era and then the Sacha Dhawan Master throughout most of Jodie Whittaker's era, that I really think it would be good to give the Master a proper break for 3, 4, 5 years, bringing him back in season 3 or season 4 of Shooty. Let's wait a while for that, I think. So my gut feeling is that it's not the Master, just because I don't think it's the right time to bring the Master back. And it's kind of, we've been there, we've done that. We've done mysterious person turns out to be the Master multiple times in New Who. So I don't think it would feel like anything original or interesting to do it. So I think it's unlikely that it's the Master. Now, the other sort of common one that always comes up is it the Rony, the kind of other classic Time Lord, obviously female from the late 80s in the classic series, that we still haven't seen in New Who up until this point, but I feel like every mysterious person is mentioned that it could be them. I'm a little bit torn on this one because very intriguingly, the other day there was an interview with Shooty where he said, I'd love to face the Rany. Now, in the nicest possible way, I know Shooty, has learnt about Doctor Who and is the Doctor and all that, but does he really know that much about who the Rany is? Because it's hardly like a big, well-known villain, really. They had 2 stories in the 1980s and that's it. So that intrigues me that he mentioned the Rany, but also I feel like if this mysterious character you introduce on Christmas Day is actually going to be the Rany, why would you get Shooty saying 2 days earlier, oh, I'd love to fight the Rany? Like, you wouldn't drop that name in if it's suddenly, oh, it's that character. I feel like that would be a bit unnecessary as well. So I have nothing against it being the Rany. I enjoyed the couple of appearances of the Rany as Kato Mara back in the 80s, and it'd be cool to see the Rany again, just to see a different sort of Time Lord and things, to see them still knocking about, albeit I don't know how much kind of timeline sense, given everything that's happened with Gallifrey and stuff. I don't know how likely that is, but I think it would be interesting, but I also, again, I think it's unlikely that we're going to see it, just given, that it's actually been mentioned by Shooty. I feel like that would almost make it too obvious that it's going to be the Rany. So we'll have to see, but I personally don't think it's the Rany. Another common theory I've seen floating around is that it's River Song, given Mrs. Flood, River, all of that. We've had Melody Pond Song in the past, all of, and I get it. I definitely can see that as a possibility. Again, it kind of feels like, well, we've done that one before, so are we going to do that again by having the name, be changing to be River Song? And I don't know quite how River really fits into the story and how it will just really work or make any sense. Apart from the name, I don't really see any logical reason why that fit in. We don't know for a fact that Mrs. Flood is bad or a villain, but it certainly seems like it, the way she's talking and stuff at the end there. It'd be weird to sort of introduce that for her to then be, friendly River Song or something. I don't quite see how that fits. I like the idea with the name, but I don't think it's River Song. For me, it feels more likely that it could be Ruby's mother, or that at least the woman who left Ruby behind is Mrs. Flood, or is involved with Mrs. Flood. Because I think the thing we have to remember is that the hooded woman in that episode, it doesn't have to be Ruby's mum. Like, it could have just been a person whose job it was to go and place that baby there, who's working with whatever baddie it is, who's interfered with, the start of Ruby's life or something like that. Like, it's entirely possible that that's the case. And so I'm kind of inclined to say that maybe she's Ruby's mother, or is in some way involved in, the start of Ruby's life, because in the episode it feels like she's very much like encouraging Ruby to go into the TARDIS, that whole, bringing the Doctor and Ruby together, like we saw Missy bringing the Doctor and Clara together way back when. Just, I feel like that kind of idea feels quite likely, and so I do think that she's going to be in some way involved specifically with Ruby and bringing that all together. Exactly how, I don't quite know, but I do think maybe Ruby's mother or something like that does seem like a possibility. So to me, I feel most likely that it's going to be a new character rather than big reveal, this is the Rony or the Master or whatever. I just don't, like, we've done all that before. And I feel like Russell's really been talking about doing new villains and new things. And we've seen, like, from the trailer, for example, that there's no returning villains or anything like that appearing in that. I know we've got some returning characters like Mel and things, but I just feel like it would be more interesting for it to actually be a brand new character that becomes the big bad of the series, that was the boss in Star Beast, that was the one who waits in the Giggle, referenced by the Toymaker, that it will be the big bad of the series, but actually it's just a new character that's in some way involved with the birth and the sort of beginning of Ruby. I think that's what's most interesting. And, where did Ruby really come from? That's surely the mystery that we're going to learn about throughout season 1 and maybe even into season 2 as well. And I know the other, just quickly, I know this is kind of off topic, but the other mystery that people are talking a lot about is Susan Twist. An actress who appeared in the beginning of Wild Blue Yonder as that woman talking to Isaac Newton, and then she appeared very briefly in a scene she was heckling the band when they were playing in the pub. And she's also been seen on a poster for a future episode of Doctor Who. And everybody seems to be thinking, is this Susan Twist some mysterious, dramatic character who's the big bad of the series? She's going to turn out to be Susan, classic series, the original Susan, or something like that. I feel like it's just all gone a bit crazy and a bit weird. I know it's hilarious that that's her real name is Susan Twist, because it sounds like a fake, like, twisty name, obviously. And we all thought that was going to be some big character in Wild Blue Yonder because of that, and we knew so little about her. And then she had the tiniest part and was nothing to do with the Doctor. And then again here, she's just, had one line heckling the band. But it is nevertheless the same person. And, I guess that's quite interesting. And you wonder whether that could link to anything. I kind of wonder whether it's just them using the same actress as, sort of an extra in scenes and stuff, that just they were a good actress to use a couple of times. They don't look particularly similar in the two different scenes they're in, so you can get away with it. Maybe that it's going to be some big dramatic thing that's revealed later in the series. I know somebody said in the trailer there's a wide shot, I think, of the TARDIS on sort of in a field that looked like it had her in the background, but you can't really make out her face. So who knows? I mean, I'm intrigued if there's anything to the Susan Twist mystery. I do feel like it's going to be one of those things that turns out to be absolutely nothing at all. But I guess you never know. But yes, guys, let me know your theories and your thoughts on Mrs. Flood. Who is she going to be? When are we going to get her revealed? Is it going to be classic end of the season finale type thing? Are we going to see her in other appearances? How do you think all that's going to play out? And do you think there's anything going on with Susan Twist as well? I'd love to hear your theories down in the comments below. But that, guys, is just about it for this video. Remember to hit that like button, that subscribe button if you're new here, and I'll see you again very soon for a brand new video. But until then, it's goodbye.